Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. So today we're streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Twitter. So let me do a quick check if all the streams are doing well. And I think they do. So let me turn on the volume here. Okay. All right, so I should have dressed up in my suit, but I chose to wear my hacker hoodie, which I think is also okay, given the theme of today's stream. What we're going to do today is we're going to implement a couple of things at the same time. So it's so interesting. I had a look at where we started, and in the beginning everything was manually coded on this stream, and then we started using assistive coding in Xcode. And I know in the beginning, when it first suggested a couple of code completions to me, I was like, well, I don't know if I should be using them, because I felt that I'm a proper engineer, I'm a proper developer, so I should be coding stuff manually and show people how stuff is done. And as time went by, that barrier, that hesitation came down, and we ended up using that. We ended up using different tools, and eventually we ended up using agentive coding, where I go in, describe the feature that I want to implement, and then a coding agent like Gemini CLI, for example, goes off and implements the work. So the past couple of episodes, we've been using Antigravity, and one of the features in Antigravity is that it supports multiple agents running at the same time. There even is an agent manager that helps you to keep an overview of what is going on at the same time. So I thought, why not today try to use that feature to implement a couple of things at the same time? And if we feel like we want to go really crazy, I might even also add Jules to the mix, which is an autonomous agent running in the cloud. So I've been playing around with it today. Let's see how it goes and how we're feeling about this. So hello to everybody on the stream. I see a couple of regulars here. Franklin is here, Lars is here, Frank is here. If you haven't checked out his TUI implementation, you should totally do so. I was blown away by the fact that it looks and feels like SwiftUI, and that is just a testament to how, what a fantastic way it is to build your UI using a domain-specific language. I mean, I'm completely biased because I've been working with domain-specific languages for many, many years. Great work. Oh yeah, and then obviously last week Apple released Xcode 26.3 with agentic coding support. And yes, I've played around with it, and I found out that Gemini CLI gets a hiccup when you connect it to Xcode, because the Xcode MCP server returns data, structured data in the content area, which if you have a coding agent that is strict about the data that your MCP server returns, will reject. And so that was the case with Gemini CLI. But the good news is yours truly implemented a fix. So if you use the latest version of Gemini CLI, that problem should be gone. So maybe we'll also look into that as well. There is a blog post and a video coming. So if you're interested, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. So lots of talking. Let's get into it. So you pick your character. You can be whichever agent you want to be. Okay, so here we are. And let's quickly go into the application to have a look at what I want to do today. So last time we implemented tagging, and if you open the tagging, the metadata dialog now, in the bottom of this dialog, you'll see a list of all the different tags that are assigned to a link, and we can click on that, and it will show all the tags up here. And if I create a new tag, for example, tests, it will show up as create tests because it doesn't exist yet. And I can do that, and it will end up here. And if I click on that up here, it will just disappear because we haven't used it yet. If I click on battery, it should go down here because we have used it before, so it's in the database. And if we click it again, it will go back here. So what I want to do, however, is, and let me get my notes window up here. I want a different type of UI. So if you compare this here, you will notice that we've got two lists. So one list that contains all the tags that are assigned to a link, and down here, all the tags that are in the database. So that is one thing that I want to use or want to implement. And then for the other thing, let's look back here. So I want to improve the picker screen. This should be animated, of course. And whenever we enter a new tag, for example, hello, and I tap enter, it should automatically apply that. So if it doesn't exist yet, it should create a new tag. And if it already exists, it should just apply it. So that is one thing I want to implement. And then the other thing is deleting and renaming tags. So if we go back to the root of the application, you can see that we've got this list of tags that are listed below our library, essentially. And let's say I wanted to delete a tag because I don't think that I'll need it any longer. For example, I don't know, battery. So at the moment, I can't delete it. Or if I have mistyped a tag and I want to change it, so let's try that. For example, let's go in here. Let's say that I'm mistyping something. So battery, create that, save. So now it should be in a database. So now if I want to rename that, there is no way how I can do that. So that's another thing that I want to implement. And let's see if we can do that in two different coding agents. So if we take a look at well, let's do it this way. So I want to show you how my Finder looks like. So here is my Finder, and you can see I've got lots of different folders here, and all of these folders are Git Worktrees. And I've created them in various different ways. So in the past, I created most of them using Tower, because Tower is my favorite way of interacting with Git. It is very visual, and it has a really good integration for Git Worktrees. But some of those worktrees I've also created from within VS Code or Antigravity. And let's take a look at how this works. So So we basically need two different work trees because I want the agents to be able to work independently. So we need one work tree for working on the feature for renaming and deleting the tags. And we need another work tree where we can work on improving the UI. So first of all, we're going to set this up in the project tracker, right? So we've got two work items here, rename tag and delete tags. And these I already created a while ago, and they are subtags of the tagging system implementation. So you'll be able to find them here, and they're still green. So now I also want to add another item for improving the UI. So let's say manual tagging, improve the UI of the tagging screen. So, and let's see. Okay, so I don't know why, but for some reason it's no longer possible to go into one of those checklist items and then say, I want to turn this into a sub-item. So what I'm going to do is I'll delete this here. Oops. Save, or if somebody has an idea, let me know. And then I'm going to create a sub-issue. In this repository, yep, that's correct. Blank issue, that's the title. So what I want to do is instead of showing the tags as chips, I want the tags to be shown in a list. There should be one list for all tags that are available in the database. And there should be another list for the tags that are active on the given URL. And then when the user taps on a tag that is assigned to a URL, it should be unassigned and it should go back into the list of all available tags with a smooth animation. Oh, and then I also said that I want to be able to just hit enter to apply a tag. In the tagging screen, the user can also use the search field to search for tags. When they hit the enter key, the tag should automatically be added to the current list of tags on the current URL. Okay. So this is, let's see how well this works, because it's not very, it's very speaking from the heart and not very formal. So there are a couple of ways how we can improve that. So one way would be I could go back into Craft where I'm tracking my my feature requests. So I can go here, and I've got my tagging system here. And in here, you can see that we've got a couple of user stories. And inside the user stories, manual tagging, you can see that you've got those really nice user stories. So now that I see it, I think maybe it's a good idea to update this here. So let me do that. So Craft also has a really nice agent integration. And let's see. Yeah, it's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, go into Craft, and call up the assistant. And I'm going to say, so it's not this one. So it will automatically see my context. So let's see, we've got manual tagging. Yeah, so that is probably a good idea. So I want to improve the tagging screen. Here are some ideas. Please help me update the PRD. All right, so let's see what it comes up with. So it will now analyze my current user stories, and then it will hopefully update that. Oh, wow, let's see. Oh, so it said I'm going to look at the current content of user story 1. And then, yeah, so it just updated the acceptance criteria. That's great. So I can just copy that and then go back into this here. And then let's see, I'll just paste that. Oh yeah, so the acceptance criteria is just a replacement, so I could have just replaced it like that. Okay, so user can open a tagging dialog that has 2 separate lists. Okay, so there is the first change. It has a list of available tags and the active tags. The user can tap a tag in the available tags list to assign it to the URL, which moves it back to the available list with a smooth animation. Nice. They can tap a tag in the active list to unassign it from the URL. They can search. When they type and press enter, a new tag is created and automatically added. Tags are persisted. The dialog closes if the user taps done, and assigned tags are immediately visible on the artifact. Great. So that is exactly what we want. So now I'm going to copy, well, I'm going to go back, and then I'll double check that I've got the right one. I have. So I'll copy this as Markdown, and then I'll go back into my into GitHub. Then I'll say, here is the updated, here are the updated acceptance criteria. Nice. So, perfect. I'm going to assign this to myself. Do we need a label? Enhancement. And create. So now we've got a new sub task, which should be on our list of tags. Here it is. And now I should be able, so it should be in the backlog. Let's go here. Yeah, here we are. So it's in the backlog, and now I'll move it into the ready state. And now let's prepare the work. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to say this is ready. I want to work on this in this iteration. Start date is today, and I want a branch for it. So it will automatically use the name of the issue, and then I'll just say features to group it into this folder. And we want to branch from main. So, and I will say, I want to check this out locally. So create the branch. I get my my command to check this out locally, but we're not done yet. So now let's take the deleting tags, and we want to implement that as well at the same time. So now I will pick the same iteration, I'll set the same start date, and then I will say that we need a branch for this as well. Features, and I want to check out locally. Good. So now we can go into Antigravity, and I should now be able to see those branches. Let's see. So it was features 208, right? So here we go. Why was that created 51 minutes ago? That is interesting. What about the other one? So 233. Well, I have no idea, because we've literally just created this 2 minutes ago. Anyways, so in order to create a new work tree, we need to tell it, okay, which branch we want to check out into the work tree. So let's see if that works. Work tree, open work tree in current window. And now we need to pick one, but we don't have one. So let's first get the branch. Let's get this one. And let's get the other one as well. Was it this one? Yes. Okay. So now let's see if we can check them out. Open work tree in current window. No, we can't. Here we are. Create work tree. So we create a work tree from features 208. Okay, so now it complains that it's already checked out. So we'll cancel. I'm going to go back onto main. Okay, create work tree 208. So please provide a work tree path. So the way how VS Code does it is it always creates this .worktrees subfolder, or it wants to create that, but that's not what I want. Instead, I'm just going to say, I want to put it in this folder, because that is the way how Git Tower does it. So I'll just stick with that for a moment to keep it in the same organizational structure. So Sofia code, and then Sofia features 208, delete tags. So create, and now we should have our new work tree, and it's here. Interesting. So if you do it that way, it's in a subfolder. Well, fair enough. So let's create another work tree for 233. So now we've got 208, and we should have 200 and... Oh, where did it create it? Oh, here you go. Well... if you don't pay attention for one moment, you'll end up doing something that you didn't want. Okay, so here is 233, here is 208. Nice. So, and we will now open the work tree in the current folder, and we'll start with why do they not show up? Open work tree. Why does it not find them? I mean, so let's try it. Let's try this again. Okay, so we are here, Antigravity dot and open work tree, a new window. Nope, that doesn't work. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to open another console. Okay, so here is this one, Antigravity dot. Okay. All right, so now we should be on the, this is weird. This is not what I intended, so let's do it differently. I'm going to delete them again, and then I'm going to use Tower to create them. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, 208, 233, you are gone. So where are we? Okay, Git Tower, here we are. So this one, so we're creating a new branch from here. No, we're tracking this. So yes, we already have it down here. Okay, so check out a new work tree. Hopefully this works. So it suggests the correct name, create work tree. And then we'll create this one as well. Oh, there is a work tree. Okay, so check out. Right, so 233, 208. Now this hopefully should work. Let's see if there are no known. Yes. Okay. Here is our window for worktree 233. And then open worktree and current window 208. Okay, so let's first begin with the one that, and let me make space for with the chat window. So let's begin with the one that we are going to use to implement the improved UI. And let me move my Super Whisper over here. I want to improve the UI of this application, and to do that, I've already opened a GitHub issue on my project tracker. It is issue number 233. Can you please read that and summarize it for me? So Antigravity should now use the GitHub MCP server to connect to GitHub and get the issue. And in a moment, we should get a summary of that issue. So in the meantime, we can go here and do the same. I want to improve my application, and I've already created an issue on GitHub. It's issue number 208. Can you please read that and summarize it for me? So in the background, we can see that this editorial window here is currently already busy, and it's getting the requirements, and it's going off to analyze the front-end code base. And in the background, we can see this other window also doing stuff. And we can also use the agent manager to get an overview of what these are doing. So we are here, 208, and here is 233. All right, so I can use this window to follow along, or I can use the editor windows, or I can, yeah. So let's first have a look at what this agent here thinks of what it needs to do. So it has a summary of the tagging screen, and it says, okay, there are two distinct lists. There should be a real-time search, filtering both lists simultaneously, smooth animations when moving tags between lists. When the user hits enter, a new tag should be created. Yep. Okay, so where is the implementation plan? So here's our implementation plan. So now we can see what Antigravity is planning to do in detail. So it has analyzed our code in this tag picker view here that we worked on last time. And it plans to implement two separate lists. It's planning to have two collections, or arrays probably, one for the working tags and one for all the available tags based on search text. And then, okay, so it's trying to use matched geometry effect. Let's see if that is a good idea or if this will lead to just wild stuff flying around. We'll see. Then it plans to use the onSubmit view modifier on the text field to ensure that whenever the user hits enter, the tag is being added. And then, oh, that's really interesting. Ensure the design matches the premium aesthetic requested. Though the issue description is functional, the system prompt requires aesthetic excellence. So that is probably because we have a bunch of agents installed or skills installed. So let's take a quick look at this one here. So we've got the SwiftUI expert skill and we've got a SwiftUI knowledge skill installed, and these probably request premium look and feel. So, and then there is a verification plan, and that seems to involve running this on the simulator. So this hopefully works. I've got Flowdeck installed, so that makes interacting with the simulator a lot easier. So that sounds like a good plan to me. Okay, so there is just one thing. So here, keep in mind that we are using the searchable view modifier, so you will probably not find an individual text field in the implementation. Instead, you need to make sure that you position the onSubmit view modifier so that it acts on the search field on the view. And now let's publish that review. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at what this other window found out about issue number 208. So deleting tags, it shows the acceptance criteria. And I want an implementation plan. Yes, please create an implementation plan. So, meanwhile, we have a refined implementation plan, and this implementation plan says, I've updated the implementation plan to use .searchable instead of a custom text field as you suggested. So that is something that you'll always have to keep in mind, right? If you don't have your code base in mind, then your coding agent might come up with stuff that is surprising. So always have that in mind. Either you have to have it in mind, or better yet, you'll have to put it into an agent file. So that might be something that we should do once this implementation is finished, to tell it, can you please summarize this implementation in an agent file? All right. Yep. Cool. So I think we can go ahead and let it implement this. Oh, please keep in mind that you should not commit this to the repository without showing the code to me so I can review and approve it manually. Thank you. So we'll add this as well. Let's take a look at this one here. So we've got an implementation plan. Yeah, so we need a couple of things here. So there is a bit of backend implementation that we need to do. Our tag remote store apparently does not have functionality for deleting tags. And we will need a swipe to delete with confirmation to the overview screen. So that looks good to me. Yeah, I mean, it plays it safe. Who has more than 500 artifacts? Oh, well, artifacts, not tags. Yeah, so because it is a multi-change thing that we need to do, right? So when deleting a tag, we need to delete it from the tags collection, and we need to delete it from all the artifacts that are tagged with that, right? And that might indeed be several hundred. So in my personal knowledge base, I've got roughly 400 elements now, so we're getting close there. So I think this one can proceed, and this one, it's already done. Okay, very nice. So, is it though? Oh, okay. So, whenever it says replace the custom view with the standard navigation stack and list with insert group style, that sounds like something where I'm like, I'll definitely have a look at how this looks like. Okay, so let's try this. And I'm going to hit Command R to run the application on my simulator. So I need to pick the scheme. We don't have a destination, so hopefully it'll ask about the destination in a moment. Yep, here we go. So we can now select which phone we want to run this on. I'm going to pick iPhone 17 Pro on iOS 26.2, and now it's building the app, and in a moment it will fire up the simulator. In the meantime, let's have a look at this here. Yeah, so this is also finished. We can try running this here on a different simulator. Okay, so FlowDeck tells me that I haven't selected the target yet. So let's do that. And then as a destination, we're going to pick a different simulator. So let's use iPhone. How about an iPhone 16e? And then run this as well. So in the meantime, okay, so for some reason, it wasn't able to launch the app. Let's see if we can figure out why. Maybe you can't do that at the same time, but let's find out. Okay, here we are. Let's check this out. Yeah, so this looks different than before, right? In the beginning, we had this area which had all the chips for the tags, and now it's a list. So let's see what happens. And here is my other simulator already booting up. So let's play around with this. So I'm going to remove live. Okay, myth. Yeah, that's not. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so the thing that I am not too happy with, there are a bunch of things that I don't like. So the first thing is, instead of using the proper icons for iOS 26 and Liquid Glass, it's using labels, done and cancel. So these should be a check mark and an X mark. And then it puts the search bar at the top. So this is how it used to look like on iOS. What was the iOS version before? Anyways, 18, right? So on iOS 18 and before. So that's completely okay. But I would rather that it puts it where it should be. And we can later run the application on a simulator that actually runs iOS 18 to see if it's in the proper location. But I would have loved for it to be at the bottom. But anyways, let's create a new tag. Let's say, okay, so we also need to make sure that we tell it to use lowercase all of the time. So test doesn't exist. So when I hit enter, it will be added. Nice. And if I tap, okay, so now it's filtering. So I start typing and it's filtering in a case insensitive way. So if I type SwiftUI and then hit enter, it's created a new one. So that's something that we need to fix. Okay, done. I beg your pardon. Oh yeah, that was correct. So for example, if I remove all of these and just leave tips, yeah, that's correct. If I cancel, yeah, it will not be changed. Nice. And if I cancel out of that, okay, so apparently the state management in this screen isn't perfect, but that's something that we can look at another day. So that is great. So what I'm going to tell it now is you did a great job, but there are a couple of things that I want you to improve. Ah, come on, is it the same again? So this is something that we had last time as well. For some reason, the pastability of this in the current window of this field here seems to just vanish sometimes. Let's try. Hello. Yes. Hello. You did a very good job, but there are a couple of things that I would like to improve. Please make sure to use the, let's do it another way. For the buttons to cancel and commit the dialog, you used buttons that have just plain text labels, but instead I want you to use SF symbols using the check mark and X mark, because that is the way how things are done on iOS 26. You will find plenty of locations throughout this application where you can see how this is done properly. So then the other thing is, I wanted you to put the search bar at the bottom of the screen, and actually in the previous version of the screen, before you changed it, it was at the bottom of the screen. So can you please try to implement it that way? Also, please make sure that when the user starts typing, that you do not auto-capitalize text that they enter in the search bar. And then, what else? If the user types the name of a tag that already existed, but in a different casing, you should not create a new tag. Instead, tags should be case insensitive. So basically just lowercase everything. Okay. So please update the implementation plan and show it to me for approval. While it's doing that, we can go over here and take a look at this thing here. And I first need to sign in because this application is not signed in yet. Now it is. Let's make a little space. And now let's see if we can delete this item here. Very nice. So battery, oh yeah, first of all, let's go back here and take a look at this. So this one here has battery instead of battery. So let's keep that in mind. Now it's the battery life on iOS article. And now let's delete this here. Yes, I want to delete, so it's gone. And now let's double check. Yep, it's gone. Nice. So that seems to work. Very nice. Let's try something else. So let's go ahead and create a new tag here. Oh yeah, this is still the old implementation. I have to keep it in mind, right? So I'm going to add a test called test123. Create this on this one, save, and go back. And I'm going to apply this to a bunch of articles. Oh. Yeah, it's still applied. Go back. Let's just apply it to all of the ones that we could see on the first screen. So this one here. Also, if you're wondering why I sound funny, I had a cold last week and it's still a little bit there. So my voice is already a bit strained, but should be good for a couple of more minutes. Okay, so now we can see, oh, what's with this one? Didn't I apply it here as well? I did not. Okay, so it's applied here and here and here and here and here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Let's delete that. Boom. Well, yes, delete. Boom, it's gone. So gone here, gone here, gone here, gone here, gone here as well. Nice. So what happens when we go back in and say we want to apply a tag? So test123 does no longer exist. Amazing. So that implementation looks really good. So let's have a quick look at what it did here. I'm going to increase the screen for a moment. So we've got, let's look at the UI first. So here we have two state properties. One of them for the tag that we want to delete, and that's an optional. And the other one for a Boolean that says presenting delete confirmation. All right. So here we have a bunch of code. So this is our swipe action. It's destructive. It uses the trash can, and it allows, oh, it doesn't allow full swipe. It should allow full swipe, because if you just want to get rid of it, you just swipe through and then it should delete it, so that you don't have to tap on the button. Then we've got a confirmation dialog that will be presented. So yeah, if you tap on the button, it will turn presenting delete confirmation to true, and that will trigger the confirmation dialog. And inside the dialog, we have the do you really want to delete? And if so, it will go to the tag store and it will delete the tag. And if you cancel, tag to delete will be set to nil. Nice. So that's one thing. And then in the service, in our remote store, we've got a new method called delete with a tag. So what it will first do is it will go to Firestore, to the artifacts collection, and it will get all the artifacts that are tagged with this tag using the where field array contains query operator. Then it will create a batch, and in the batch it will then add all the updated documents where this tag has been removed, and then it will remove the tag from the tags collection as well, and ultimately it will commit the batch. So that means all of these operations will be executed on the backend at the same time, atomically, and either all of them or none of them will be executed. Nice. So that is really good, and I'm pretty pleased with the implementation. So now we can say, thanks for implementing this. There you go. I'll just type it like a caveman. Thanks for implementing this. I am really pleased with your work. Hello? With your work. I think this is ready to be committed and integrated. So now it should create a new commit message and commit this back into the repository, or probably create a pull request first. Okay, so Antigravity has committed the changes to the branch. That is really good. Oh, there's one thing that we need to change. I think we should also implement full swipe for the delete feature. I mean, we can do that ourselves, right? So, overview screen, allow full swipe, true, and then run this again, and then let's have a look at if it works. So, yep, here we go. Let's just delete this one. Full swipe, bam, aha. Nope, let's try again. Yep, and it works. I don't know. I think the confirmation dialog, that doesn't work nice enough. I think that's also something that we should look into. But I think firstly, this looks good. Yep. And then great. Please push to the remote repo and create a PR. So while that is working, let's have a look at the improvements here. So toolbar cancel becomes an X icon, done becomes a checkmark icon, search bar move to the bottom. Oh, and see, that is, I don't like that. Yeah, we'll have to check that. Input disabled auto capitalization, enforce lowercase for new tags. Okay. We'll just run this, and while the simulator is booting up, I'm going to take a look at what it did. Implementation plan. Why, oh why? Okay, so where? Okay, I have a hunch it already committed this, and that is something that I really don't like. What? I beg your pardon? Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong simulator. Here we are. Okay. Open the tagging. So it feels like this might still be an old version. So let's make sure that we run the correct version. Meanwhile, let's see if it no. Oh yeah. So here we are. Yeah, it's difficult to read. Let's do that once we are sure that this is the correct implementation. Okay. Oh, see, it only updated the implementation plan. Good. You should never use a custom implementation to replicate something that the operating system does out of the box. Please use the skills that you have to find out how you can put the search bar at the bottom of the screen. Keep in mind that we are running on iOS 26. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now we've got a more detailed implementation plan. So keep searchable, that's good. And then search bar toolbar behavior.automatic, yep. And then it will add this here as well. Yeah, so that makes sure that the search bar ends up on the bottom. Yeah, I think this looks a lot better. So we can proceed. Now, meanwhile, I've pushed the changes to the repository and created a pull request. Let's take a look at that. Let's open this. So here is our pull requests. We can see the changes. And in a moment, so Gemini Code Assist already kicked in, it provided a summary, and it also provided a code review. And as is its style, it always has something to nitpick about. And here it says, the delete function currently returns silently if tag.id is nil. This could lead to unexpected behavior or make debugging difficult if a tag object without an ID is passed. It's better to explicitly log a warning. That is a good idea. And what's this one? Oh, yes. Print, yeah. Only prints provide visual feedback to the user. Yep. That's good. Also, and this is something that we should add to our agent file. You might have seen it. Oh yeah, this hasn't been merged. Okay, so this is something that I've been working on today with Jules. So I basically told it to go into the code base and replace all of the print statements with logger outputs. And yeah, once this is merged, I think we should also have a rule that says you must log using logger. So, but maybe this is good to be merged. No, for some reason it still fails. Anyways, let's not get sidetracked. Instead, let's come back here and say the reviewer had some feedback. Can you please check the PR? Tell me what they had to say and suggest how to handle this. Please keep in mind, let me approve before you implement. So, and in this other window, we have an updated implementation. Let's run it. So I feel you can get a lot done, but it is mentally quite, you need to be on top of things and you need to know what's going on, what you told your agents to work on. You've seen a couple of times how I was in the wrong window. Okay, here we go. Search toolbar behavior. So this is something that only exists in iOS 26. Hello. Yeah. There is a compile error saying that the search toolbar behavior is only available on iOS 26. I seem to recall that in other places throughout this application, we've been using the Backport pattern. Can you please scan the code base if there is support for the search toolbar behavior in the Backport pattern? All right, so I'm slowly nearing the end of my voice. So let's see if we can wrap up soon here. Yep. So a while ago we implemented the Backport pattern, which allows us to, I'm going to show you. So we've got the Backport pattern here, and that registers a couple of helpers depending on which platform you compile for. And there seems to be a search toolbar behavior. And here we go. So yep. So this allows us to use the search toolbar behavior no matter if we are on iOS 26 or on previous iOS versions. So if we are on iOS 26, it will actually just pass through and it will use the implementation that is in the operating system. If we are on any previous operating system, it will just do nothing. And that is what we want. So it's fixed the compile error. So now, really, well, let's see. Oh, VS Code just didn't update. So let's run it again. Okay, here we are. Now let's take a look if this looks better. Yep, so check mark, X mark, check mark, search bar is at the bottom, and if I hit enter, that works. Tests 1, 2, 3, 4. Press enter to create test 1, 2, 3, 4. I press enter, it's there. And then boom, it's applied. Boom, it's in the database. And that is a lot better. Nice. And here we are. Okay, great. So I really like this. Thanks for implementing that. I think we are ready to commit this back to the repository. Can you write a commit message that includes a summary of our implementation? Ah. Okay. So, and in this other window, we have an updated implementation plan that addresses the feedback. Log a warning, that's good. Show an alert. Yep, we can implement that. And here we have a nice summary. That looks good. Nice, nice. I've committed the changes with the message. Okay, please push and create a PR with a suitable summary, making sure that it will close the correct issue when we merge it. Okay, I was just checking. So on this other screen here, I've got the Twitter stream running, I've got the YouTube stream running, and I've got the LinkedIn stream running, and the window with the LinkedIn stream just crashed. So let's bring this back up. Yep, so here it's using the GitHub MCP server to open the pull request. So we should be seeing a pull request any minute. Here we go. Improved tagging screen UI. We've got the changes. We've got the verification. It has a closing tag. And I'm going to assign this to this project here. And I'm going to say this is in review because any moment now, Gemini CLI will kick in and perform a review. That is really nice. And what else? Choose an iteration. Start date is today. Nope, today. Perfect. Okay, so now we can wait. Yeah, so I've got tests now as well. So I had Jules write tests for me. So these are running in the background. Okay, so while that is running, let's go back here. So this will log warnings now. And overview screen will show an alert. That's great. Okay. Nice. I like. Please commit and push. Okay, so I assume that we will not get feedback about our implementation until this test has finished running. Oh, also, this is really nice. So I made sure, so earlier today, when I set this up, I had like the regular Xcode build log output here, and then I thought, wow, this looks awful. Let's try installing Xcode Beautify, and now we've got this really, really nice log output here, which looks so much more pleasing to look at. This is great. I mean, look at how much better this looks. I mean, you only know how much better it looks if you've seen it before, but I think you've seen it before. Okay. Oh, what? That is wild. So here is the code review, and it doesn't have any suggestions. That is really amazing. Like, typically, I get at least 3 or 4 suggestions from Gemini codices saying, yeah, you know, not bad at all, but here are 3 things that I totally didn't like and wish you should change. So it not saying anything, that is, I feel proud. Yeah. The refactor from a custom VStack and scroll view to list with sections greatly enhances the user experience and code maintainability. I mean, when was the last time you got a thoughtful code review like that? I mean, you got to give it to the AI. Yeah, so I guess I can just wait until the build has finished and then merge the pull requests and take a look at what's going on here. Pull request is up to date. I don't know why it always opens 2 tabs. Yep, here you go. Well structured. Now, oh, we did address this, right? Yeah, we did. So we can resolve that and this. And then we can wait for this to finish building, and that should be fine as well. Okay, so my voice is finished. So we're gonna wrap up here. I think we achieved a real good progress. So okay, let's do one more thing. I'm just going to assume that the tests will work. So, can we squash and merge? Yes, we can. So we should probably, well, typically you should wait until the build has finished, but I'm just going to say, well, I don't care. I'm going to squash and merge that. So tag deletion has now been merged. So that means it is now moved from ready to done. I think. Yeah, here it is. So and this one we can also squash and merge. So this is also moving there. And now we need to go back to main and merge everything together, and then we should be able to run this and see everything in one grand finale. So let's do that. I'm going to close this window here. Keep window open in background. Why? I mean, what is still running there? Oh, because there is an agent. No, I want to, I mean, we're done. We're all set. I want to close this one, close completely. And this one, I want to switch back to main. Open Worktree in current window. Well, it did open a new window. So now let's pull. Oh, we are on the wrong branch. I want to go here. And then I just want to pull. Fetch from all remotes. And pull. Okay. So now all the changes should be here. And then let's verify that it's actually here. So on the overview screen, we should have a delete action for the tags. Okay, so this is here. We've got our 17 Pro selected as the run destination. So now we should be able to run. And let's get our simulator to the front. We no longer need this one, just this one. And so we see that once it's starting, I'll just put the application in the background. So it's building, and any moment it should launch. Why? Oh, because it's still running here. Let's see. Yeah, I think because we ran the application from the other VS Code window, it might be challenging for it to open it from here. Let's see. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to terminate this here, close this window, close completely, and then, okay, so now the application is launching. Let's see if we can delete this. Yes, we can. And let's see if we have our nice tagging screen. Yes, we do. Woohoo. Boom. Save, save. And there we go. Woohoo! Nice. That was great. So we achieved a lot. I mean, we still worked 1.5 hours, but we achieved a lot. And that was because we ran 2 agents at the same time, and we were able to switch back and forth. And now the tasks that we gave the agents were not super complicated, and that is why we had enough time to switch back and forth. But if you imagine that you give your agent something that is more complex, then it might be working for slightly longer, and then you might go and do something entirely different, right? Or maybe if you're doing something where the agent needs to access a remote system, for example, to pull down information and work on that information to compile some sort of report, then that takes a lot longer than stuff that it can mostly do on your system. Of course, it's talking to the model, but everything else happens on your system, and that is a lot faster than it having to communicate with a remote system. All right, so next week I will be in Warsaw at Mobile Warsaw on Tuesday the 17th, and I'm already looking forward to it. I know that Marcin will be there as well, and Marcin, if you're watching this, mate, we gotta take a coffee and eat cheesecake. If you're not watching this, we'll do it anyways. So if you happen to be in the area, please drop by. This is posted on meetup.com, so if you go to meetup.com, search for Mobile Warsaw, you will find it. I will also put the link in the description of this recording, so you can just click on that. And I would love it if you'd say hello if you are at the meetup, and then we can chat about how you're using AI. Oh yeah, so the topic of my talk will be hybrid AI with Apple Foundation models and Firebase AI logic. So something to look forward to. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It was great fun. I'll let you know on social media and also on the YouTube channel when the next live stream will happen. Not next week because, as I said, I'm going to be in Warsaw, but probably the week after. All right. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.